Hypnotic words are words that you can use to change how you think, feel and act, and influence other people to react better for you. Now imagine if you could change just 10 words, use 10 hypnotic words in your vocabulary, and really change the influence you have upon yourself and upon others. In this video today, I'm going to share with you those 10 most powerful hypnotic words. So listen along. And if you get value from this video, please do like and subscribe so you can get early alerts and help share with other people who can benefit from what I teach. So I'm Jonathan Butler and I am a clinical hypnotherapist and one of the world's leading RTT therapists. I help people go from a place where they don't want to be, where they're stuck, trapped, anxious, to a place where they're calm, relaxed, happy, optimistic about life. So let me talk about hypnotic words. So hypnotic words are words that really have power. They're words that when you use them for yourself, they raise your energy, they raise the way that you feel, the way that you think, and the impact that you have upon others. Because something to really understand in life is about our influence upon people, is about how we make other people feel. And how we make other people feel is dependent upon our words, the words that we use, how we deliver those words, and our general demeanour towards people. So when you feel better about yourself, when you're empowering yourself with your words, you can then turn that into helping other people. So people come to me and ask me, can I use these words to influence, to control other people? You absolutely can use words to influence other people. I certainly don't like the word control because that tends to be counter-effective and of course it's unethical. But here's the thing, to really influence other people, first of all you need to get your own house in order. When you start to use hypnotic words on yourself, you'll start to naturally use these words in your conversations with others. So if you try and just learn these words to work on others without getting to use them properly yourself, it's not really going to work. You're going to come across as incongruent, you're going to come across as insincere, and people will sense that, so it won't work. You won't get the desired result. So first of all, start by using these words on yourself though. So let's just talk a little bit, before I get into the words themselves, about a principle you need to understand about our minds. Our minds are like a computer, like an incredibly powerful computer, okay? And we work on inputs and outputs. So the inputs, or one of the key inputs we give ourselves, are the words that we give ourselves and the words that we allow in. And when, depending on those words that we allow in, that we give ourselves, impacts the outputs that we get. So just like when you're on your computer, when you go and tap away at your keyboard or click on your mouse, the command you give to the computer will determine the output that you get. So your words, your instructions need to be clear, concise, consistent, because if they're not, if we confuse our mind, you'll get that wheel of death like you do on a computer where you get overwhelmed, confused, your mind doesn't really understand what you want. So let's get into the words. So word number one is imagine. Use the word imagine. Imagine yourself in a future where you are calm, where you are relaxed, where you can clearly express yourself. That word imagine is incredibly powerful because you start to picture things, and pictures create emotions and create changes. So word number one to use a lot with yourself and with others when you want to influence is imagine. Imagine how your life will be when you're a more confident person without anxiety. Word number two, closely related to this, is picture. Picture. Picture a time in the past when you were happy, when you were successful, when your relationship was great. Picture that. Again, that's really powerful. You are creating an image and you're creating a feeling. And of course that can be used in a negative way, but when you use it in a positive way, picture is very, very powerful. It's similar to imagine, but you can use it in a past tense to remember good times, and you can use it to picture yourself in the future. Picture yourself having the relationship you want, the job that you want. Picture yourself, if you're playing golf, seeing that ball go into the hole. Picture it just going in a straight line into the hole. It's an incredibly powerful word. The next powerful word, number three, is remember. Is remember. It's a really, really powerful word to remember something positive. If you're maybe in a bad place right now, maybe you've had some big life events that have knocked you back, tell yourself to remember a time when everything was good, when everything was going well, when you were confident, when you expected things to go well, when your relationship was good, whatever it was, remember that. And when you remember that, it creates a good feeling. It's like looking at an old photo album. You're remembering that, you're remembering how it felt. And just again, by creating that picture, you're sending a message to your mind that that's what you want more of. And by remembering that as well, you remember maybe what you were doing, what you weren't doing, the things that you were putting in place to make yourself happy at that point. What was your environment? What was different then? So remember is incredibly powerful. The next word, well, it's a phrase really, is I will. Many of us, when we say we're going to do something, we need to do something, say, well, I ought to do this. I'm going to try and do this. All your mind hears is confusion, lack of clarity. You're not going to do it. When you say, I will do this. Today, I will pay this bill. Today, I will pick up the phone and have that difficult conversation. You're sending a clear message to your mind, and your mind will take that on board, that you will do this. You want to do this. I might, I should try, I ought to, tells your mind you don't really want to do it. I will says you're going to do it, and your mind will take you with it. The next powerful word is I am. I am successful. I am at the top of my game. It could be if you want to be promoted, you see yourself as the level above. I am the director. I am the boss of the business. And when you start thinking like that, you put yourself in that place. You're telling your mind you're already in that place, you're already in that position, and you start to think like that. You start to act like that. Next powerful word is you. When you say you, the person you're talking to really feels like you're talking to them. How do you feel? What do you think? Because the reality is everybody likes to talk about themselves. Everybody likes to be made to feel important. There's nothing worse than people who talk about I did. It alienates you. When you say you, if we were to do this, what do you think? What would you like to do? How would that make you feel? You is a really powerful word. It engages people. It makes people feel like you're paying them attention, like you value them. Really, really powerful word. The next word that's really powerful is we. When you say we rather than I, it creates an environment of collaboration. It creates a feeling that you're in things together. It's really powerful in relationships, in the workplace. We. People who talk about I, they alienate people. They come across as selfish, only looking after their own interests, self-serving. We talk about we. We is incredibly powerful. We takes people with you. It's one of those powerful words from leadership. My final two powerful words for you to learn are and. And is incredibly powerful. When you want to get somebody to say something else, to add to something, if you want to dig into something a little bit, use the word and. If you ask somebody, what did you do today? I went to work. And it's hard for people not to answer that bit because people don't like things being left unanswered. The word and is really powerful. So you can use it on yourself. As I said, you always got to start on yourself. Say, today I'm going to pay that bill and I'm going to have that conversation and I'm going to do that DIY job and is incredibly powerful. It makes things tangible. It makes them real. And the final really powerful word is something to use when you're trying to put something behind you, something that might annoy you, a person who winds you up, a person who really yanks your chain. When you say, I am indifferent, I am indifferent to that person, I'm indifferent to what they say, I'm indifferent to what they do. Indifferent is really powerful because people think that the opposite of love is to hate, but actually hate is a negative emotion. When we become indifferent, things cannot hurt us. That person in the past relationship, that ex-boss, that person who's treated me badly, don't hate them. being different towards them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do like, subscribe. Please do put any comments below and let me know how you get on, because words are powerful. The words you use for yourself, the words you use for others, and see how this makes enormous changes in your life. Thanks for listening, and see you soon in the next video.